Hi guys, John with you, and we're back with the final video of the figures for beginners, and we just show you what they look like now once they're dry, because if you remember when we finished off the last video, I had just done the wash on them and they were a bit shiny, shall we say, so I left the wash dry overnight, and there we go. I'm happy with these, and you know, if you follow those quite simple steps, nothing, you don't have to be anyway artistic or anything like that, and you'll end up with a nice figure, and a figure that will sort of make your models look that little bit better. Okay, now you can go on from these. You can use these, say, as your baseline, and you can kind of work on from there. You know, you can go on and get better, say, skin tones. You can go for a little bit more on sort of highlights and lowlights on the uniforms and things like that, or you can just leave them as they are, and believe me, they will make a good addition to whatever kit you do. Also, like I said, with certain figures, now you're going to have, you know, infantry figures, you're going to have webbing backpack, you're going to have equipment like rifles, things like that. Now I have a rifle here. It's a 1/16 scale one. They're for the figures I did. Oops, leaning over there and running everything. They're for the figures I did for my Fallschirmjäger guys. But even with the rifles, you can enhance them by, you know, using a bit of, believe it or not, that is actually Tamiya tape. Ordinary Tamiya tape, folded over, stuck to itself, you know, and then cut very, very thin, and super glued into place and painted black. And there you go. So there's you know, a rifle with a rifle sling, and you know, you can just bare painting. You don't have to be too precise with them. Okay, that's the thing. You don't have to go overboard on figures. You don't have to go overboard at all, unless you've got that skill. If you've got that skill, then off you go. Fair play to you. Yippee! You know, brilliant. I envy you. I really, really do. And a couple of people have already kind of commented on. I put up these photographs on the Facebook page, and a couple of people have already commented how good they are. You know, compared to what little was done to them to get them to that stage. And as you can see, it's when you give it the wash, it'll make their faces, it'll fill out their faces, and the see, you know, it'll make the definition on their faces. That dry brushing on the uniform, that brings out you know, highlights. And where the dry brushing doesn't go, there we go, it's slightly darker in the bits, then that'll be your lowlights. Now they are probably, you know, a little bit shiny. You could sort of finish them off with a bit of a dull coat or whatever. But in general, there you go. They're not bad at all, and I'm quite happy with them and how they turned out. Okay, maybe just give a look at each one, and then we'll kind of finish it up. Make a nice quick video. I don't want it to be too long. Sort of just showing you figures that I've already painted. We've seen how they're done. We've basically made them, showing you any little hints and tips for getting them made. Same applied then for the painting. Just basically block in the main colours. Nothing too extravagant. You don't have to go for darkness and lightness or anything like that. Shading. Okay. Then do your little bit of detail painting, be it on badges or whatever they have on them. Okay, and then a quick wash, and it's as simple as that. And you know, like I said, with the wash, make it down as thin as you can first, apply it, and you can darken it then from there on in if you're not happy with the original. Okay, but the dry brushing and the wash can make a figure really, really stand out, and there is nothing hard at all to do with when you do a dry brush and a dry brush and a wash, and you can end up with some really, really nice figures. Okay, so there's our 4 figures. The amount of comments I've got, rather more, not necessarily comments on their painting, but comments on their poses. They definitely look like like they're in a group dancing, most definitely at a disco, sort of dad dancing at a disco, you know. Put whatever soundtrack you want behind it, but yeah, they will work out quite nice. We just get out the vehicle there that I'm going to use them on, and show you how each of them is going to sort of fit on it. Okay, so we'll just bring the camera back a bit, and we'll start off with our weirdest of all the poses, this chap here. Okay, oh, I decided that he'd fit there like that. See, his hand fits in there nicely. Okay, so there's one. Second chap here, again, because of the position of his elbow and all that, you can have him, say, moving along there, looking back to this guy here that is pointing up at something coming in or over from that direction. And our final chap then can be standing here, looking at the same thing, whatever is over there. Or we put him there, keep the 4 of them together. Okay, so as you can see, now they're going to fall when I bring this around. I know they are, because they're only just sort of standing in position, and you can see what use or how good a couple of nice figures can make a scene look good. Okay, now obviously he's not looking in the direction that your chap is pointing in, but you know, play around with them, do whatever you want. No, there you go. At least now he's looking in the direction that this chap is pointing in anyway. And there we go. So in the next video now of this little series, okay, we finished with the figures. Happy enough with them. In the next video now, we're going to get the decals, or decals, whatever you want to fucking call them. I don't care. I call them decals. Won't get into an argument over it. As my good friend Simon Kemp used to say, decals, decals, transfers, stickers, and I kind of robbed it off him. I started saying that myself. But we'll get on the decals, or whatever they want to call them. Okay, we're going to give it a gloss coat. The only bit of detail painting on this is very, very little detail painting on this. We've got an antenna here, and we've also got a jack there. That's about it, really. There was some other tools, but they were really, really bad looking tools. And again, if you don't like the look of the tools or the look of the figures, just don't use them, because they can ruin a kit. It's better, say, you know, have it without tools or without figures than have it with bad ones. Okay, like I said, bad ones can ruin it, and it can ruin your lovely paint job, and you know, all the work you've gone to, and 2 horrible figures in it, and it just takes from the whole thing. So in the next video, like I said, we're going to do our decals and give it a gloss coat and a little bit of detail painting. And on the video then after that, we'll start doing some weathering techniques. Okay, simple ones like I did with the figures. Some nice simple techniques that you don't have to spend ages on, but you can get a nice effect from them. We'll do some chipping, okay, some sort of edge chipping along, and some scratches. We'll do a bit of rust streaking off the bolts and things like that, you know, and edges and things where a bit of rust would sort of wash down from it. But before that, we will do some sort of dot filtering. And dot filtering basically is where we use dots of oil paint, different colours oil paint, and you blend it in, and what it'll do, that'll give it even more worn look to certain areas, and the effect is actually quite nice. It did take me quite a long time to sort of literally figure out how to do it properly, because again, with the tutorials that I was watching online, I'm not saying that all the tutorials, but the ones that I was specifically watching, they kind of went a little bit too technical and a bit too much into detail, and I kind of got lost in them, and I sort of, it took me a while to figure out exactly how to do it and how to do it properly. But once I had it figured out, I'm thinking, yeah, it's actually quite easy, quite easy to do, and the effect is quite nice as well. And remember, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to try things out. Okay, and especially with the if you go use the methods that I'm using, whereas you give it a nice good gloss coat, and you use oil paints for your weathering. If you get it wrong, you've time to remove it or change it, because you can play around with them. Whereas if you use acrylics, they kind of dry a bit too fast, and you don't have that fiddling time to do with them. Okay, so that's the end of figures for beginners, and we'll get back onto the elephant pretty darn soon. So I'm going to leave you with that, lads. Take care, enjoy your modelling. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed. And if you have subscribed, thank you very much, I do appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the bell, and by hitting the bell you'll be notified as soon as I upload another video. Again, if you want to help out the channel, use the link in the description, and also get over there to the Facebook page. You can hear Abby roaring away there in the background. She's deadly, she is. But there's a link in the description to the Facebook page, and a link on how you can help the channel out in any way you can. So I'm going to leave it at that, lads. Oh yes, don't forget to join me on Friday nights. Today is Friday. It's 7:30 at the moment, so I will be going live in about an hour and a half. So that's an hour and a half from now, not an hour and a half obviously from when you watch the video. But from 9 o'clock on Friday nights, that's 9 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, so you can do your calculations there and work out whatever time zone you're in and figure out what time I'll be going live. And it's just a quick informal chat, whereas I don't have any I don't have a topic I'm talking on, and I just sort of blabber away, and every now and then we go over to the chat lines at the side and just chat away with people and answer any questions that they might have, and just chat away in general. It's like I said, it's totally informal kind of chit chat. So I'll see you then, lads. Take care. Like I said, enjoy your modelling, because that's what it's all about. Okay, that's what my channel is all about. It's about enjoying the model. It's not about trying to get a perfect kit every time. It's not about perfection. It's about enjoyment, and that's the main thing as far as I'm concerned, because that's why I picked it up, and that's why I do it, because I enjoy it. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and oh yeah, go out and buy yourself a kit, build it, and enjoy it. This is John signing off. See you soon. Take care.